Hey everyone, welcome back to finally the tutorial on how to rebuild a successful app from scratch. Now, slight change of plan, we will be rebuilding Cal AI from scratch, focusing on like the fundamental feature, which pretty much is the taking a picture of your food and estimating the calories instead of Emacs. The reason for this is because OpenAI and ChatGPT, they are limiting me from rating other people's faces, which is totally fair and is not a problem. Cal AI, a little bit of background. Cal AI makes $3.5 million a month. They have almost 10 million downloads. And I'm going to run you through exactly how I would rebuild it from scratch and how I would, like, what kind of version I would launch into the market if I wanted to make a competitor, for example. Now, I will preface this by saying I don't suggest you make a competitor to Cal AI. I mean, even if you do, like, there is a lot of competition and a lot of people have tried and failed. But I want you to more use this tutorial as a kind of a visual representation on how you can build a super successful app from scratch. And then you can translate these same concepts, this same execution I'm doing now into other ideas and other apps. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is to download Xcode. And once you've downloaded it, go to the top left, click settings and log into your Apple account. You log in by clicking this plus icon on the bottom left, clicking Apple account, continue, and then entering your details. Super simple stuff. Once you've done that, you will click create new project, app, next, call it Cal AI or whatever else you want to call it, and then make sure you come up with your own organization identifier. You can do like com.slater or com.mafia or com.whatever else, but it's totally unique and you need to come up with your own name. This can't be repeated by other people and you can't just copy the one I've written down. So I'm just going to do Mafia tutorial. You can leave all of this as standard, and then choose a folder and destination where you'd want to code in. So I'm happy with the GitHub folder, so I'll just click create, bottom right, and boom, your app is now live and in business. So this is going to load a preview. This is going to load a preview of what you're coding on the left side. And like this will show, okay, so the left side is the back end and the right side is the front end. Everything you're typing on the left side will display itself in some shape or form on the front end if you're building the front end view. Obviously, like the functions and stuff, you won't be able to like see. But as you can see, if I just change this from Hello World to Hello Mafia, this will update in real time and you can see exactly what you are building, which is super cool. So the way I usually like to start building apps is kind of mapping out the design first. And, you know, people can say that this isn't necessarily productive, but I like to do it because it gives me a vision of what the app is. And that inspires me to and motivates me to keep building. Whereas if you're just working on a feature and the rest of it isn't built, you might be like, I'm not super happy with this. But if you start creating a brand around it, and start doing the designs, it feels more real and more tangible, and that pushes you to keep building. At least that's how I operate. So I'm going to start with like font weight .bold .font .title. And if you watched the tutorial I suggested earlier, like these concepts are really easy to understand. I'm not going to go into details on how to code, but I will kind of give you a little bit of background of what I'm doing when necessary. So, okay, so that's the title. We'll do a spacer, and then we'll do a button with the label of an image. And this is when you open SF Symbols. I told you guys to download this earlier. So open SF Symbols, and we're gonna go for a camera icon. So we'll do camera.circle. Is there a circle.fill? Let's see, circle.fill. Okay, there is. So I'm gonna copy this name, and I'm gonna do image system name. Actually, I'm gonna make this a bit bigger for you guys. Image system name, camera.circle.fill. So as you can see, tiny little circle in the corner now. Great. Now we'll do dot resizable, scale to fit, frame, width. I'm gonna say width 45. Is that big enough? No. 90? Okay. I mean, I'll do like 80. It's a fine balance. That's all good. And then for the color, I'm gonna go red. Cool. Like a little like camera red recording icon, which is sick. Okay. Now inside this bracket, you do the logic. Which we'll get to very, very soon. So what this should do is you click on this, it will then open your camera, and there should be another button where you can click and snap a photo. That photo should then be sent back to the ChatGPT API, and then that will analyze the calories and estimate it. And then you'll take that data that ChatGPT has analyzed, also where it's like estimate the calories, and display that on the front end for the user. So that's our objective today. And then we'll get into the paywall and everything else soon. So let's start building this. So what I would do is take this logic. Actually, we'll just copy the entire file. Then we go to chatgpt.com. And I'll close this. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm coding a calorie tracker app, and I want you to write me the code for a function that allows me to press the button shown below, pull up the camera, and when a photo is snapped, it should send it back to the ChatGPT API and estimate the calories, and also display the name of the food item it sees. Don't use any packages, just use a standard API call. And then I'm gonna send it my code. Maybe I could have written this better, but like, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you ask it a question and it fucks up or it isn't the result you're expecting, you can always go back and say, hey, can we change this? Or I meant this thing, or I meant to say, or, you know, explain the bug. Like if this doesn't work, just be like, okay, look, it didn't estimate the calories, it estimated the width of the food, whatever it is. But the prompt doesn't have to be perfect. At least that's my take. So I would post this, let's see what it says. While we wait, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Side note, ChatGPT 5 takes a hell of a long time to reply. Honestly, I love 4.0 because it was incredibly accurate and fast. So, you know, it is what it is. But apparently ChatGPT 5 makes less mistakes and thinks deeper about certain topics. So you don't have to keep going back and forth because it did make the occasional mistakes. Okay, this is important. You gotta, so I'll give you a quick background. For Apple, you need to clearly state why you're using certain features. For example, the camera, or the microphone, or the photo library. You need to add, and do this with me, copy NS camera usage description, go to Xcode, click Cal AI top left if that's what you named it, go into info, click this plus icon, paste it in, click return. It should then pull up the full name, and then you can write, we use your camera so you can take a picture of food and estimate the calories. Boom. You need to do this, otherwise your camera won't work. Straight up. Very essential. Okay, well, send me a massive, massive code result. And it's all in one file, which, you know, isn't optimal, but for the sake of the tutorial, I think it's clearer and easier. So we're gonna stick with this. Okay, it's just finished. So I would copy this, and by the way, this whole chat will be in the course materials. You can go into this and also copy the exact code I'm taking here right now. And I'm gonna copy and paste the entire file back into it. And let's see, any errors? 2 errors. So what I would do is I would copy the errors if you do get them, and they are occasional, but they do happen. I'm just gonna show you how to navigate this. You'd post, I got 2 errors, fix these for me, please. I'm gonna paste the errors. And it should know what's causing it. Like it should have the knowledge and intelligence to find out what is causing it and fix it for us. You know what we can do in the meantime? We can go to platform.openai.com. platform.openai.com. Make an account if you haven't already. In the top right, there should be a button to create an account. Okay, look, as you can see, the sign up. Do that. I already have an account, so don't. Ooh, it logged me out. But, oh, am I in incognito? Oh, I am. My bad. Platform, openai.com. Once you are signed in, go to, I believe, manage projects. Yep. API keys, and then create a new secret key. I'm going to call this one Cal AI clone and just pick the Quitter project. And this will create a secret key. Usually you can't reveal this, but I'm going to delete this afterwards. But copy the key and make sure you paste it into, whoa, lag. Into this, your OpenAI API key. So we'll do that right now. That's how ChatGPT knows which account to bill. So incredibly important. And you won't be able to do a function call about it. That's very important to know as well. Okay, let's get back to it. All right, so sending back the full fixed file, which means we're gonna need to paste in the OpenAI key again, but that's not an issue. It takes like a second. By the way, I intend to keep this process very raw and uncut, just because like this is like the real grind. You are seeing like directly behind the scenes of the building process. And like if I do fast cuts, a lot of you guys won't understand. And I think it's very important to see the building process and its flaws and its successes. I kind of a gist of how long it takes. But we'll whiz through this like eventually. Once it gets it right, that's like the bulk of the work. All right, cool. Hopefully this works, boys. Hopefully this works. So paste it in and no errors. Great. All right, now let's go back to our API key, copy it, and then paste it in the your OpenAI API. Such a tongue twister. Your OpenAI API key. All right, paste it in, boom, and run. Oh shit, it's running to my phone. Oh no. Okay. I've just run it on the simulator, so let's see how it looks. Simulators are a little bit different to the preview, by the way, but I like using the simulator more. All right, so let's test. Camera, boom, camera right there. Amazing. Which is great and should work, but because it's in the simulator and it has no physical camera, you won't be able to see what it's doing. So what we should do is run this. I'm gonna say great, it works. Now please add functionality to upload stuff from your photo library as well. In the meantime, I'm gonna find a picture of food on the simulator. Picture of lasagna. Actually, lasagna is like so misleading because everything's like melted together, but we'll try it. We'll do this picture. So you're gonna hold down on it, click save to photos. This is just for the tutorial, by the way. Usually in practice, when people have their real phones, they can just take a picture. Very simple, but for the sake of the tutorial, I will show you how this works. Okay, so it's gonna send back the full complete code again. Is that right? Seems like it. It should be faster this time because it's only changing a few lines. But then we will need to find our API key again. I'm going to tell it in future, if there are any more changes we need to do after this, to just use the API key that I provided. But like, I hope this is an example of like, it's not super complex. Like, yes, it's a lot of back and forth and repetition and trying to like mold the AI to do what you want. But that's the game. And once it's built sorry, to use the same word twice. Once it's built once, I suppose, you don't need to really build it again. There's just slight improvements that you have to make, but once I've built this feature, I can just change the code slightly to improve it. Like, I don't need to get this entire thing written again, have to keep going back to AI. I just make small changes. And what I will say as well, once you've built this app, this example, you can just go out there and market it. You don't need to do much else. Like, it can be very simple. As long as it helps a select few people and makes their life maybe 5 to 10% better, that's all that matters. And like, the distribution of having an AI estimate the calories, even if it isn't perfect, is super helpful. Even if it sucks, it can suck. Cal AI launched, and it launched with one feature, and the tracking wasn't great. They slowly started improving it, but they still made hundreds of thousands of dollars before that point. So I wouldn't over-index on like getting the technical part right. I'd focus on just building MVP. Okay, so that should be good. And again, I'm gonna have to get my API key. Annoying, but hey, all good. So here we go, paste it in. Run it on the simulator. By the way, to run, I'm using Command R. So it's the Apple symbol on your keyboard plus the letter R. Okay, let's see. There we go. So now I can choose from library, and I'm gonna select that's me. I'm gonna select the lasagna, and it's saying analyzing. Boom. We have fucking built Cal AI, okay? That's how you do it, right? I'm launching a competitor. Blake and Zach and Henry and Jake, watch out. Because my Cal AI is going to destroy the market. I'm going to make way more money than you, and you guys suck. Look how accurate that is. Come on now. All right, awesome, boys. We have something tangible. Now, there are a bunch of improvements and changes you can make. How much of it is totally relevant? I don't know. But like, I'm telling you, and I know this sucks, but you could fully go to market with this product right now. And how long did it take me? Like 17 minutes? And that's just with like a bit of back and forth of AI. 17 minutes, and I built the main feature that Cal AI made hundreds of thousands of dollars with. There we go. This is the new age of software, boys. Welcome to the fucking mafia. New age. Okay, great. Now let's go back to our course assignment. All right. Well, it looks like that's it for the core feature. Like, we built it, boys. We have built it. And we can do another test real quick, just for reference. Let's get like ice cream. Ice cream. Let's see if this works as well. So we'll go to images. We'll get this ice cream, that's good. Bro, if it estimates the hand, that would be so funny. How many calories do you think are in a hand? All right, boom. Analyzing, let's go. Chocolate ice cream, there we fucking go, boys. Okay, next module, we'll go through the paywall and the onboarding, and we'll show you guys how to make money and how to turn this free product, an easy to use product, paywall it, and then before the paywall, just convince people why this is relevant to them and why they should pay. See you, boys.